Your power plant is one of the most important components in your ship because it has a big impact on all the other components. Recently, the best power plants were removed from the shops and placed in contested zones, which can be difficult to access if you're a solo player. But there's another way to get them: hunting NPC ships and scavenging their power plants. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to loot two of the best stealth power plants. We're focusing on the top tier stealth power plants for both size 1 and size 2 ships, so you can max out your ship's power while keeping your signature low. In all my loadout guides, I only use stealth power plants because they're simply the best. They make it much easier to fight multiple ships just because you won't instantly show up on radar, and it's a lot easier to flare off missiles with low signature. I'll even show you the best bounty hunting missions to grind for these components, so let's take a look. For smaller ships like fighters, we can farm the slipstream power plant. This will allow us to get just enough power to max out most of our systems, but where can we farm this? Well, the best ship to farm is the Talon. Talons usually spawn inside LRT bounty hunting missions around Crusader, or at least that's where I managed to find most of mine. You might have to grind a few LRT missions before you find one, but they definitely spawn. Sometimes they can be difficult to spot because they are stealth ships. You might even think your contract didn't spawn, but they did. They are just super difficult to spot sometimes, so keep pinging with tab. Usually they will start missiling you once they appear, so be very careful. Talons are also very easy to blow up, so when fighting them, take your time and slowly kill them until you soft death the ship. You can find the power plant at the top of the Talon. There will be a little button you can press to open the component bay. Taking out the power plant is a little bit tricky, but usually I try to just wiggle it until it comes out, but take your time with it. Once you got your brand new power plant, you can snap it onto your ship grid and deliver it to your hangar. Just make sure to send it down the cargo elevator to store the component. Now you have one of the best power plants in game, and you can equip it to any ship you like by using your Mobiglass. But what about bigger ships like the Cutlass Black and above? They all use size 2 power plants. The best stealth power plant to farm is called the Eclipse, but what ship can you farm it from? In order to get the Eclipse power plant, you want to farm the Prowler. Prowlers usually spawn inside MRT bounty hunting missions around Crusader, or at least that's where I managed to find most of them. Sometimes the ship you want to farm can spawn on a moon. I would suggest you slowly pull it out of the atmosphere into space. It should follow you if the server is decent enough. It's way better to fight there because it will make life a lot easier once you soft death the ship. The Prowler is very unique. Once you soft death the ship, it will be almost impossible to use each ladder, get to the ship components, because the hull will be too small to fit through, but I managed to find a workaround so we can loot the ship. In order to loot the Prowler, you will need to hard death the ship, but not completely turn it into dust. For this, I just use my regular gun to hard death the ship by shooting it. Once you destroy it, you can enter the ship and make your way to the components. Because you hard death the ship will open up a lot more, making it possible to loot the components. Now that you're inside, you can take a look at all the components, but the main thing we want to loot is the Eclipse power plant. It will be all the way in the back, just underneath the QT drive. You can just grab it and make your way back to your ship, and make sure to snap it onto the cargo grid, and sometimes you can even lose it if you don't do that. I would probably farm quite a few of these components, since some ships even use 2 power plants, so definitely you'll probably have to grind a couple of these missions to find both the Slipstream and the Eclipse. They're definitely one of the best power plants in game at the very moment. I chose these 2 power plants to cover them just because they're the most important part of your ship, right? The other things you can buy in shops, and they're not that important. Shields, you can't really loot. I checked, you can't really loot the best shields from other ships, but you can loot another power plant that's very good for multi-crew because it will be able to power all your weapons and components. And this only comes on the Star Lancer Max, but unfortunately, the Star Lancer Max doesn't show up in missions. So you can't really target it. That's why I didn't include it in this video. But if you see a Star Lancer Max out in the wild maybe, make sure you loot its power plant and its coolers, since it is one of the best for multi-crew and you can't find those components in shops. But hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then you can watch these 2 videos right here. Also, a big thank you to my YouTube memberships. I really appreciate your support each month. It really helps out a lot. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.